My dad was out on his bike one day and was the victim of a road traffic accident. Well, it wasn't an accident, but it was road rage. So my dad was knocked off his bike, injured really badly, but survived with a really nasty brain injury for about 16 months afterwards. So yeah, we lost him, and obviously there was another party involved because the guy that was driving the car was blamed for his injuries and for his death ultimately. I think restorative justice had been mentioned to us a few times, especially in the early days of like the court case and things like that. So I don't think we actually knew what we wanted to get from it right at the beginning, but I think as the restorative justice process sort of happened for us, and we agreed that it might be something that would support us moving forwards, especially for me and my sister, not necessarily my mum. But I think it was kind of just listening and kind of thinking about it quite open-mindedly and thinking, is this something that's going to help us or is it not? But in all honesty, I didn't really know what to expect. I just thought life can't get any worse than what it is at the moment. So if this is something that's going to support me to move forwards, then it's got to be worth a go. So for me, it was about telling him exactly what a nightmare he'd created, and the fact that nightmare had gone on for like 18 months and then was going to continue again. I think for my sister, it was really different. She wanted to ask questions. There was things about the day where we'd listened to how it had unfolded in court, and there was gaps for her, and she wanted those answers to be, the gaps to be filled in, basically. So I think we both sort of went into it for different reasons. So on the day, it was kind of what we'd gone through earlier, but yeah, just getting into the room and then us being in there and being made to feel comfortable, and then him entering the room when we were ready, I think again makes us feel like we've got that little bit more control, because you are in a very vulnerable position. I didn't sleep well for the week before. I was tired, I was scared, I was nervous, a whole host of emotions. But as soon as he'd come into the room and he'd actually sat in front of me, I was fine. Obviously really upset, and I think I probably cried my way through the session. But it was a really gentle sort of it was just really natural, as in, nobody was pushed to talk if they didn't need to or if they didn't want to. But then I think yourself and, your team, they allow you to sort of take over the session if you feel like you need to. And I think that's what happened in ours. We all sort of got talking, and then it felt like, it wasn't as rigid and as routine as what we'd sort of planned out. So we were all able to just have a conversation, and it sort of ended quite naturally when we felt it needed to. I like the fact that you guys both said, I think you asked us twice if there was anything else that we wanted to sort of ask, and it gave us that time just to sort of sit back and think, before I leave this room, it's probably going to be the last chance. Is there anything else that I need to ask? And I didn't need to ask the question that I really wanted an answer to, because it was answered just in the general discussions. So for me that was good, because I was really nervous about asking that. I think I underestimated actually how much it would help me. From the minute that I drove home in the car after we'd had the meeting with the guy that was driving and the guy that had sort of changed our lives, the minute that we were driving home in the car, I knew that we'd made the right decision. It was almost like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders, probably because I'd got a better understanding of how he felt, what the impact on him had been, the fact that I'd been able to say, this might have affected you, but it's really affected our family, X, Y and Z sort of thing, and see the reaction on his face. I still think, like, when I go to the place where I know that he lives, I still think about him, and I still think what I might do, what if I do walk in here and he's there, do you know what I mean? But I know what's going to happen if I see him, because we've made that agreement and he was so open to doing what we said needed to happen, do you know what I mean? And the fact that we talked about respecting each other, we get it won't be easy for him as it won't be easy for us, and especially his wife, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think the fact that we know that now, it just means, it'll be awkward, but it won't be as cutting as what it would be if it would have just been, there's that guy that killed my dad, do you know what I mean? At least now I know that there's that element of regret with him, and things like that. So I look at him differently now to what I would have done before I met him. I rarely think about him now. Before I thought about him a lot because I had somebody to blame, which I still have, but I kind of understand what happened on the day now and the fact that he didn't set out to kill somebody. Do you know what I mean? And what he's sort of been through as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel sorry for him, but I just have an understanding now. People that are in my position, I would say, if you feel that you've got unanswered questions and that you feel like there's a lot of sort of emotion and misunderstanding around what's happened, why it's happened, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, and that you feel like you need to sort of share that with the person that's done it, I would say do it, don't hesitate. It's definitely the best thing that I've ever done, but it's the scariest thing that I've ever done as well. And I think the fact that I had to just battle through how I felt that week before and just kind of say, right, you just got to do it. Do you know what I mean? I would have been really disappointed in myself if I'd not done it, knowing how I feel now.